name is Beatrice Dixon. I'm the founder of the Honey Pot. In the beginning, it wasn't easy to start this company. And there was a lot of times that it almost didn't happen. If Target didn't take the chance on us, we wouldn't be in all the retailers that we're in today. But what's really dope is they helped us with the product line, the packaging. It really changed my life. The reason why it's so important for Honey Pot to do well is so the next Black girl that comes up with a great idea, she could have a better opportunity. That means a lot to me.
So welcome back to Linking with Lili. If this is your first time, thank you so much for joining me. And
Thank you.
So this commercial ad was meant to highlight, celebrate, lift up Black-owned brand during Black History Month. Instead of receiving the love and praise it deserved, some people of today's society, they wanted to hate on it. However, my guest today, Honey Pot Company CEO and co-founder, didn't let the negativity get the best of her or her multi-million-dollar business. So, welcome my sister, Miss Beatrice Dixon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so glad to have you. Before we get into all of that, how are you doing? How are you holding up? What self-care routines are you doing during this whole pandemic?
Oh man, I'm eating really well. I'm taking care of my skin. I'm working out. I'm going to the chiropractor. I went and had an IV today,
Yes.
like a vitamin antioxidant IV thing.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I want to do. I'm, chilling. I've been doing a lot of work out. Like my front porch has been like my office because it's so nice out there.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm working and doing what I can, doing what I can and trying not to focus on what I can't control. And yeah.
Okay, and I peeped the nails. Your nails are always on point. Thank
you.
When I get out of quarantine, what's the person's name? I need their information because listen.
Her name is, are you in Atlanta?
Yes.
Her name is Taj Nails, Taj, and then Nails on Instagram.
I'm having this up because I'm always with my nails done and I just feel so weird. Yes, I'm being transparent. Yeah. 1 and 2. That's it. So the Honey Pot Company came to you in a dream one night from your ancestors.
Yep.
The rest was history. So tell everyone who's not familiar what makes your product stand out from most and why it's so important for women's health.
I think the biggest thing that stands out about our products, first of all, it's a full line of plant-based feminine care. We're not the only one now that does it, but we were definitely the first one that had ever took a systematic approach, looking at all of or most of the lanes within feminine care, right? And that's washes, wipes, that's pads, tampons, menstrual cups, lubricant, all the things, right? But under one brand profile. And I think the other thing is that all of our products are clean. We've done clinical trials on a couple of our lines, actually a few of them, and we just are really committed to making clean, beautiful, effective, competitively priced, so it's not crazy expensive, like the average person can buy it, type of skincare, but specific to the vagina and the vulva.
Everyone loves it. They love it. I went to the store the other day to buy some, and of course, gone. It was 3 items left. I got them, and I was like, I'm gonna use these anyways because I don't want to ever come across it. It's crazy. My friends, they boast about they get so. This is so funny to me because we as women, especially me, I deal with endometriosis. So when it's time for my cycle, I'm dreading it. But I find it funny that my friends lately, we're all in sync, like women. And when it's time for them to have a cycle, they're really excited. Why? Because they get to use your products. So I think
that's so nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Because it is so successful, what does your success mean for upcoming brown entrepreneurs?
I think what it means most, as long as, we can get what we want, right? Which is to go at some point to exit, but that could happen. Every brand wants that, right? I think the best way that we can be successful is to work hard to get our brand to be able to exit through a meaningful acquisition. And the way that we would benefit Black women is we would become a comp for those women to use when they're raising money. We can help by making sure that we're responsible with what we put out into the world.
Yeah.
You know, we can help by using the right content, you know, but I think the biggest way that we can help is through being successful, so that when the next Black woman is, you know, in a business that's similar to mine, you know, she can point to us and say, that's the type of model that I'm using.
Right, 100%. And since speaking on the business aspect, what would, like, to new entrepreneurs, what do you think would be some maybe like key terms that they should maybe be familiar with when approaching investors looking to, you know, feed into their business or help them grow?
You know, I think first they should look, before they look to an investor, they should really look to themselves, look to their business model, look to who they're serving, look to their products, right? And all that shit has to be a good mix. And then once all that's a good mix and it's doing good and that mix is making a little bit of money, right? And a little bit is like, you know, over 100,000, 200,000, right? You know, a year. Because if you're able to do that, right, then and you have a really great reason for going to an investor and saying, hey, investor, I need to, you know, I'm raising money because I'm going into a retailer. I'm raising money because I figured out a way to really grow my business rapidly online, right? And this is the success. This is like the example of the success that I've seen based on this thing that I'm doing. You know, so some of the terms are like, you need to figure out what your market size is, right? So, you know, and then what are the multiples that they give in your market? So when I say multiples, I mean, let's say that your business made $250,000 this year, right? And let's say that it's in a skincare multiple. So let's say it's like a 4 times revenue, right? That means your company is worth $1 million, right? So you have to understand, based on what your market dictates the multiple is, and there's so much that goes into that, right? Like the investor is going to dumb that shit down before you, right? So you're going to say my company is valuated $1 million. They're going to say, nah, your company's like $600,000 or $700,000, right? So in that case, let's say that they go with what you think the company is valued at, right? And let's say that you need $200,000 or $300,000. Well, when you divide that $200,000 to $300,000 into that $1 million that your company is worth, that's how much you're giving away. So, and that's not a bad thing, but the reason why you don't want to be hasty to just sell your equity, right? Unless you've got a real good reason to do it, is because you might sell too much of your equity before it's time to sell it, right? You may not really know what you want to do with it, right? And you know, I can tell you, because I've been in business, $200,000 to $300,000 is not a lot of money. You know what I mean? So it's really just understanding what those mechanics are, and then building from there, because the days of being able to raise, to go in and asking for tech multiples that might be like ×9 or ×10, those days are kind of gone.
True. It's very true. So in the time that we're in now, how has the Honey Pot Company been able to just keep the brand going with the times, but still stay very authentic to, you know, what you started it out as?
I'm just true and authentic 100% of the time. Even if it's at a fault. You know, I think because there's so much of me in the brand, I don't really think that it could be another way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, but how can other people do that? They can just, the only way to fucking do that is just to do that. You know what I mean? There's no other way to do it, you know? You know, if you're going to stand behind something, you know, it's better for it to be, or in front of something, or however you want to put it. It's better for it to be authentic. You know, it's better for it to be able to stand on its own. It's better for you if you have fucked up, or if you haven't delivered, or if you have, right? It's better for you to be the person that says that,
right,
than to try to hide behind that, and that's something that we've had to do multiple times, right? Yeah. So we can't control what's going on right now.
right.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm barely in control of myself.
Right.
I mean, there's things that we can control, but there is so much
that we just have no control over.
That, right. And in business, when you start to play in the arenas that we're playing in, right? And there's different sizes of arenas, right? Like we're not in a sundial arena where, but when you start to get into a lot of retailers and you start to build your team and do all that kind of stuff, you quickly realize that, that there's only so much that you can really hold on to,
right. So true. Mm-hmm. I can tell just like from like a few interviews I've seen, and just like how you come off is very just like I don't know, it's just like very like chill, but also like confident, but still like nonchalant. Like it reminds me of myself in so many ways. And I know that like with the whole backlash that you went through with the Target campaign, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to, I guess, deal with that situation. But you dealt with it very well. You had the community, come in and support you as well. But what mental state were you in, or did you have to put yourself in to not even allow that to affect you by any means?
Well, the mental state that everybody saw was the one that I was in. I had to really press go because a lot came from that. So I didn't really have time to try and process feelings, and it was just like, let's just deal with it. Whatever press is going to come from it, let's go do that press, right? Like like all the opportunities that we can get, let's take them. When you're constantly, when you have to be there, you just have to be there, right? And like every day that goes by, there's so much going on. So I'm just constantly here. I just keep moving, sometimes my family or friends will say, B, like, you need to like celebrate. And I'm like, for why? Like, I just want to keep moving. I just want to keep putting these products out into the world. I just want to, like execute. I just want to work. You know what I mean? Yep. And then I want to work, and then I want to be done with work, and I want to like be in my time. Right. So I don't have a lot of space between like work and then my shit. I don't have a lot of space for that. So I just, these are pretty much the buckets that I live in. Yeah. And I don't really deviate from these buckets because these buckets are so full. Right.
It reminds me of, because I'm reading the 4 agreements, we're trying to finish it, but I know one of them is don't take stuff personal. And
nothing's personal.
You're right.
That is tattooed on my hands.
Yes.
Nothing's personal.
Yeah, that is like definitely something that I've been working on. Sometimes I'm definitely getting better at, but
it's hard to do.
It is hard, but it makes a difference. Like night and day, for sure. A few things. So, one, do you see the Honey Pot Company like tapping into another area of women's health and awareness outside of like feminine care?
I'll put it to you like this. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I've already developed things outside of feminine care. But just because I developed something doesn't mean, doesn't really mean that it's going to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've got so many things developed on paper.
Okay.
Right. I just haven't there's nothing else other than like, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, maybe,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think that as women, we will stop allowing society to make us feel so ashamed about, things we can't control when it comes to our feminine issues? Because I know so many people get uncomfortable when you talk about it. Like when I talk to people about my condition, some people take to it. Some people think, oh, you're selling too much business. But to me, I just like, it's natural. Like we all got here because of it. So it's, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so. It sucks that the human condition has created shame and guilt. All of these things are made up things.
Right.
That so many people have put energy into. And that's how, and belief into, and that's how things are born.
Right.
Energy and belief.
Yep.
Right? I mean, real shit. That's like what the real religion is. Mm-hmm. I look forward to the day that, that we don't have to feel shame around our vaginas.
Right.
That being able to talk about whatever the fuck you need to talk about isn't a taboo thing. Fact of the matter is nobody can make you feel shame. Only you can make yourself feel shame.
Right.
And I think that's what humans have to understand, that we are responsible for everything that comes from the inside out of us. Right? We're responsible for all of that. Even if you with somebody who abuses you, right? If you stay,
right,
that's what you want, right? And fear and all those things might bring you down. And look, nobody should judge you for staying if that's where you want to be. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to know that whatever the circumstance, you are responsible for it. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. You, in some form or fashion, have asked for that to be here. Right. And nobody can make you feel anything. Nobody can make you feel guilt. Nobody can make you feel shame. Nobody can hurt you unless you allow them to. Right. Right? And so, I think even if you're a person who practices not feeling those things, there's going to be a time where you feel that, and even the next time, if you're listening to this and what I'm saying connects to you and you feel like what I'm saying is true, because there's no such thing as truth. There's only, right, what you can hear and what you can't hear. The next time you feel shame or guilt or hurt or whatever, and you think to say to a person, like, why do you want to make me feel that way? You should try to remember, say to yourself before you say it to anybody else, and if you're in a place where that's a constant brick wall that you're running into, and I can say this because I've been there, you probably need to walk around the brick wall. You know what I mean? And just get out of that room. Even though it hurts to do it, because it's really hard to do it. It is. Shit is hard. It is. Being a responsible human, especially when you are being responsible for yourself, is really fucking hard. It's so hard.
I've never even, the way you worded that, I felt that. Because it's true. It's so true.
It's true. It's hard. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Even being as present as I am, even being whatever the fuck people deem me to be, right? I have my moments just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then also there's a key to not judging yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you wake up and you're sad.
Yes.
Like maybe you should just be sad.
Exactly. Live in that emotion. Feel it. Deal with it.
Feel that shit, because your body must want to feel that right now. You know what I mean?
100%.
And don't feel any way about it.
Right. Yep.
Do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Until it's time for you to do something else.
Right.
Right? And don't let that shit go on too long. Just,
right.
you know.
Yep.
So, you know, because that is something that you're in control over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For a new person who wants to try out your product, what is your favorite product and why?
My favorite product is the wash.
The wash.
Yes.
Is that the first thing that you made when it came to your dream? Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I made. And I'm just a Nazi about my vagina.
As you should be.
I am just like relentless when it comes to like how I take care of everything.
Yeah.
And real meticulous about how I take care of my vagina. Like it is a thing, you know. So yeah, the wash is by far, hands down. Okay. Use it 2-3 times a day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I sometimes hear men talk about it too when it comes to like the pH balance. I know they don't really know what they're talking about, but I feel like women, we know what it is, but a lot of us really aren't educated with the numbers that it should fall in between.
So, okay. So when you think of pH, this is a scale, right? On the left side of the scale is the acidic part of the scale. So everything on this side, every number from 1, let's call it, to 10, has a negative behind it, right? And then everything on this side from 1 to 10 is just 1 to 10, normal, right? So this 1 to 10 is alkaline. This is oxygen. This is like every other part of your body, your blood is alkaline. How you eat, you want to eat, you know, alkaline foods. You want to, every now and again, drink a little bit of alkaline water, right? When you go to the middle, that's 0. That's neutral. So that's smack dab in the middle of 1 to 10 and then -1 to 10, right?
Yep.
So vaginas should live on the left side of the spectrum when you think about a pH scale. pH means per hydrogen level, right? That's pretty much what pH means, per hydrogen. So one thing you have to understand about the vagina is the vagina makes hydrogen peroxide. That chemical, that hydrogen peroxide chemical, communicates to make good bacteria, right? But in order for the vagina to make that hydrogen peroxide, it has to be acidic, right?
Yeah.
So that acidity starts at like a 3.5, like a -3.5 to like 4.8.
Okay.
So if your vagina is between 3.5 to like 4.5 or 4.8, that is a healthy, functioning, hydrogen peroxide making vagina. Are you following me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what happens is every month, one of the reasons why reoccurring infections happen the way they do, typically right after your period, right, is because when you get your period, because your blood is alkaline, and that's how your vagina that's how a woman's body cleanses itself, right? All the everything just comes out, right? During that time, because you're shedding that way, your pH of your vagina is going to go raise, which is normal. That's what it's supposed to do. Every month, it's supposed to come out of its normal pH and go into another phase of pH because you're bleeding. Right? Then when you're coming off your period, it's supposed to go back down. When you get an infection is when it's supposed to be right here, but it's right here, right? Because it didn't get back to your pH, wasn't right, and it didn't get back to where it was supposed to be. So now you got an infection, right? And until you find the right products, in my opinion, take the right probiotics, drink the right water, don't eat too much sugar, put some fucking vegetables on your plate. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be eating up all the sweets and candies. Make sure you washing yourself I tell people take 2 showers a day. You've been sleeping all night.
Yeah.
You should wake up and wash your vagina.
Mm-hmm.
You've been out all day living in the world. You should wash your vagina before you go to sleep, right? You don't have to put no lotion on. You don't need to put no deodorant on. It's better if you don't, so you can just let your skin just breathe, you know? If you don't want to wear panties, don't at night, right? But do whatever makes you feel comfortable. I personally don't like to unless I'm on my, right? But, you know, it's just important to know. I mean, and that's what happens. And that's why women get caught out there in that cycle.
And my last question is, this just for me personally, are you gonna restock like the merch? Because I really need that uterus necklace. Like, yes, we are working on restocking the merch. We got pins coming back sooner than later. Okay.
We got those pins. Me and my brother went to Israel one year, and I saw this. I went to this like gift shop, and they had these little uterus necklaces, and I was like, "Is that a uterus?"
Yeah, so cute.
And literally, I had the store attendant call the girls that make it, and we were able to set something up with them and get it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, this is perfect. I needed it.
Yeah. Isn't it cuties?
It's so cute. I think for me too, like, look, I'm just transparent. This may be TMI to some people, but with mine, like, I had to get my left ovary and my left fallopian tube removed when I had my first surgery for endometriosis. So when I see it all together, I'm just like, it's just so beautiful. So
it's so pretty. I just want...
It could be like my fake one that I don't have anymore.
Yes.
So it's super dope. Look, thank you so much for getting your time. I know you're busy, but I love your spirit. Everything you're doing, it's like so empowering, especially like I'm from Nashville. So being here in Atlanta and just seeing Black women like yourself have business that are thriving and booming and something that's good for us, like wellness. And even from like going to my doctors, OBGYNs are Black, like it's something that I've never been used to before. So I appreciate everything, like everything you're doing, everything you continue to do. And yeah, man, thank you so much. And how can people?
No, I'm so happy to be here. They can support us literally by like good energy, man.
Yes.
Send that our way. Graceful, calm, wishful, like do really well energy, first of all, because that's what'll make us a household name. And and then second of all, if you want to support us in stores, you can go to our website, thehoneypot.co, and go to the store locator and put in your zip code. And then that'll tell you all the stores in your area where you can buy our products. If you want to support us online, obviously you can go to our website, thehoneypot.co. We're on Instagram at thehoneypotco. And then I am on Instagram at IamB, spelled BEA, Dixon, Dixon.
I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed this. And yeah, keep up the good work.
Thank you. You too, Sugar. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I thank you everybody so much for tuning in with me, Lili. Stay tuned for more conversations, intimate conversations with many of my friends throughout several industries. Make sure you subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at Liz2times. And until next time, I'm going.